What's up YouTube, pokePrimer here, finally ready to deliver you a huge update for the PFL Major League here on the channel. We are in the midst of a bye week. Scott gave us all a bye week so that he can make sure he gets all the information caught up for the league. So, during this bye week, I really sat down and took a look at my team. I intended on, after week 6, completely changing my team up, since the free agency and trade deadline is week 7. However, I decided that since we had this bye week, I want to sit down and do it now, so I have them, and I can use week 6 as my getting used to them week, which is kind of funny because, you know, we're going against Victor, or whatever the hell you say his name is, and the Cracovia Staraptors, and he is one of the #1 guys in the league right now, like pretty much almost on par with me. Like, actually, he might still be undefeated, I don't know. I know I'm not, but he is, as far as I know. Unless he lost, which would be kind of cool. But he's undefeated, so... but I feel like using these new mons, we can actually pull out the W against him. Now, the first swap I made, I dropped Mega Gardevoir. I dropped Mega Gardevoir because, personally, for me, I've never been a fan of Mega Gardevoir. I mean, I know what it does. You know, it can be especially bulky. You know, it can take some special hits. It's got that base 100 speed, which is cool and all. It's got that Pixelate Hyper Voice, which is basically what you click 9 times out of 10. And it's got a little bit of coverage moves. But at the end of the day, it's just not doing... Again, it's very one-dimensional. I think, personally, it's easy to prep for. If you have something that could take Psychic and Fairy Stab on your team, say, you know, if my opponent has something like a Bronzong, or a really strong Steel type, or something like that, they pretty much wall Mega Gardevoir. I have to run Focus Blast in those situations, and Focus Blast has to hit, or I have to run HP Fire in those situations, and it's just a mess, because HP Fire is not going to one-shot, so it's a matter of, alright, now what do I do from here? You know, I'm screwed. So, I decided to drop Mega Gardevoir for another Psychic type Mega, who just so happens to not so much have the issues of having things that can switch into it. Ladies and gentlemen, we are rocking out with Gandalf the Great himself, Mega Alakazam. Now, Mega Alakazam for me is a mon that I haven't used all that much yet. I know it's a terrible idea, randomly drafting a mon I haven't used much, but hear me out. First of all, the traceability can be really interesting. If I use it in the right instances, this could really turn the game around. If I can score some seriously cool abilities out of it. We look at his move set, okay? First of all, Calm Mind, setup potential. That's cool. Dazzling Gleams, you still have fairy coverage, which is really nice. Energy Ball, grass coverage, boom, right there. Focus Blast, still have the Focus Blast coverage. We're not losing that. Grass Knot, could be actually more useful in some cases. We got, obviously, Hidden Powers. This thing gets access to Knockoff, which would be kind of interesting. If we could get the Knockoff off or on switch-ins, that'd be kind of funny. You know, hey, no one's expecting a Gandalf to smack him with a Knockoff, who knows. This thing can set screens, which would be kind of cool. It's got Psyshock, Psychic, you know, the usual stuff there. Substitute, which is very, very common on Mega Alakazams. Shadow Ball for ghost coverage. Signal Beam, bug coverage. Thunder Wave, slow things down. Toxic for wearing things out. Yeah, this thing provides us with coverage. This thing definitely provides coverage. Mega Alakazam does have coverage moves all over it. Like, this thing provides the options for us, honestly. This thing does the work for our team. And in the long run, I think Mega Alakazam can really, really help us for the rest of the season. Because, I mean, look at these stats, first of all. Okay, base 175 special attack. This is absolutely obscene. We max this shit out. Look at what if we go modest? We're almost hitting 500 special attack. That's out of this world. That's out of this world wild. base 150 speed is one of the key reasons why I drafted this thing. Because looking at my team before now, okay, the only speed I had was Tornadus Incarnate, which, you know, we still have, which is great. We still have Tornadus. But, like, mostly he's using his prankster stuff. And also on top of the fact that he's, kind of, you know, working off of kind of an in-between speed tier where he can outspeed the base 110s, but the base 115s, which are always running around, he can't outspeed. So that kind of stinks. And then we have Jolteon, who is fantastic. One of the fastest mons in the game. But he's outsped by, you know, the likes of Mega Lopunny, Mega Manectric, Mega Aerodactyl, which makes me have to run either a Scarf or a Quick Feet set in order for Jolteon to be useful that week, you know? And that kind of limits my prep. That limits my prep a little bit, because then I don't have anything that's faster to handle those extra fast threats that make Jolteon have to run these slightly hindering sets. I don't like that. I don't like having to run those hindering sets on my Mons. I don't like having to lock Jolteon into one specific role every single time. I want to be able to mess around with Jolteon a little bit, and not have it be my fastest Mon on the team that I have to rely on for that speed all the time. So in this case, I having that base 150 speed Mon really, really helps us out, so that Jolteon can do a couple different things for the team, and really, really diversify itself outwards. As now we have that Mon that can outspeed those crazy fast Mons and then kill them for us with its ridiculous special attack. Like, this is absolutely obscene. What switches into Mega Alakazam? Like really, what switches into Mega Alakazam? In the right situation, what switches into Mega Alakazam? Not really that much. If I have the right set planned out, not too much switches into this thing. So that's good. The next Mon that I dropped was Goodra. Now, again, I know some of you are probably thinking, why would you drop Goodra? Goodra's so amazing. I know. But personally, there were so many instances where I'd sit down and prep for a week, and I just could not find a slot for Goodra. I could not do it. Honestly, there was no way, in a lot of cases, that I was going to be able to fit Goodra on my team. It wasn't happening. It wasn't happening. And even if I did, I just couldn't find the proper moveset, or I'd end up having to make it Assault Vest every single week. And that stinks. It was stuck in that role of being an Assault Vested tank. And I don't like doing that to my Mons. Again, I don't like running something that ends up being one-dimensional all the time. And that's what happened to Goodra. I mean, it just didn't see this, Scarf Goodra could be good. Scarf Goodra is good. Couldn't see the potential for it. There were so many times that I just didn't see the potential for these other sets against a lot of our opponents, so I just never run them. So I decided to drop Goodra, and I'm looking at, and since I'm in the process of rebuilding my team, I'm looking at all possibilities. And I saw one of the best possibilities I could possibly have seen. And I know I was just talking about how I don't like things that are fairly one-dimensional. This Mon is kind of one-dimensional, but its one-dimension works. And that is Entei. I'm immediately making you shiny because that's what you're going to be. Whenever I'm not running the event one, it will be named Sacred. Whenever I'm not running the event one, it will be named Sacred because of Sacred Fire. Because of the almighty Sacred Fire Negro. He is a god. He has ascended. He has surpassed all limitations of a human being. He is great. But this thing puts in work. Look at these stats, first of all. Base 115, HP, and attack. This thing can take a hit and hit back like a truck. Absolutely hit back like a goddamn truck. This thing is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. On top of that, alright, to back that attack stat, we have a freaking base 100, okay, base 100, 95 accuracy, move with a 50% chance to burn, okay, that's wild. On top of that, you get Stone Edge, which is going to punch holes through switch-ins. You got Iron Head, which is going to punch holes through fairies. We got Flare Blitz. It's an option. Just in case Sacred Fire ain't doing the damage, it's an option. My dog just came up. It's like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, and he just decided to come up and be all over me. You're going to hear him breathe in the mic. I apologize. But he's like all over my face. He's like all over the place right now. You got Extreme Speed, which is wild because it's just it's super priority. So like you got priority and you got your super priority. Like this thing is super priority. This thing's gonna put in the finest. This is great. You know, Extreme Speed's gonna come for a lot of things and really put in some work. And for the case where I don't need the event one, you know, where I'm running the Sacred Fire Extreme Speed combination, which is the most common, and I'm probably going to use that the most. If I don't end up needing it, I can run things like Calm Mind or whatever. Because this thing's got a base 90 special attack stat, which is not bad. It's usable. It's very usable. And with base 100 speed, you know, I just said we got rid of a base 100 speed mon. Well, we're keeping another one. And this thing really pairs well with Manaphy in a Fire, Water, Grass core. So this is really useful. And, you know, with both of them being base 100, they can both put in a lot of work together. Which makes me really happy. I'm not going to talk about the grass portion of that core yet. We're going to get to that in a little bit. But, my dog is all over me right now. Oh, my lord. Shadow, you need to chill. Shadow, you need to chill, fam. You need to chill. If I had my webcam on right now, you'd see this dog is all up on me. Like, he will not leave me be. He is digging in right now. He is... Alright, buddy, you need to chill. Alright, you need to chill. I'm going to move my keyboard out of the way of you. I'm going to move my mouse out of the way of you. I'm going to move my notepad out of the way of you. I'm going to move my cord. Can you not nibble on me? Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to move my shit out the way, and you can just chill right there and do your thing. Yeah, Entei going to put in all that fine work for our squad here in the PFL Major League. Our third swap was Nidoqueen. Nidoqueen, now, again, this is going to be... A lot of people are probably going to disagree with our decisions, and I understand that. And I hold all of your opinions into highest esteem. So by all means, you can tell me, you know, I'm an idiot. Fuck off in the comment section. By all means, tell me that. I don't care. I made the decision because a lot of times, again, Nidoqueen fit one clear role for me. In a lot of cases, he was either setting up rocks or being a bulky... oh god, there goes my headset. Thank you, dog. Being a bulky-ass pivot to a lot of things, and not being able to hit all that hard because I had to put a lot of defensive investment into it to make it that bulky pivot that I needed. And I just couldn't have that. And I did just drop a Dragon type, so I did need a Dragon type as well. I needed a Dragon type on my team. I will not ever have a draft league team without a Dragon, period. I refuse to do that. I think that's stupid. So, I also didn't have stab ice coverage, which in a lot of cases would have been really nice to have. Well, now I have both, because I dropped Nidoqueen and picked up regular Kyurem. Now, a lot of people really shit on regular Kyurem. And when I'm really looking at this thing's stats, I don't understand why. Even though Kyurem Black is better. They got the same speed, base 95. Same speed. About the same defenses. Obviously, Kyurem Black has better physical defense, but that's okay. Regular Kyurem has less attack, but slightly more special attack. And with both of them being the same, it's more likely to be... This provides more likely of a mixed attacker than Kyurem Black does. You know, Kyurem Black, you can run a special move, but it's 9 times out of 10 not as effective as running a physical move. The only case where it's more effective is the fact of running Ice Beam on it, just because of the fact that the only physical ice move that Kyurem Black gets is Freeze Shock, which, well, it's great and all, it's a 2-turn move, so that kind of really limits it. Kyurem, however, doesn't have that problem, where it gets access to, base 130 special attack. It's got Blizzard, it's got Ice Beam, it's got all those beautiful things. It's got all the stab dragon moves: Draco Meteor, Dragon Claw, Dragon Pulse. Got the options. It's got Earth Power, which is great. Flash Cannon, Focus Blast, Hyper Voice, cool stuff. Iron Head, Outrage, Psychic. This thing gets Psychic. I didn't know that. Rock Slide, Shadow Ball, Shadow Claw, Signal Beam, Stone Edge. This thing actually provides a bunch more options than Kyurem Black, I feel, in the long run. It also gets access to its special move Glaciate, which isn't that great. It's base 65 power, the base 90 with 95 accuracy, but at the same time, with Glaciate, it will guaranteed lower the speed by 1. So it's basically like Stab Rock Tomb. Stab Special Rock Tomb or something like that, which is really kind of helpful because if I can predict the right mons if I can predict the mons that might be coming in, and if I think that they might be faster, I can go for Glaciate and slow them bitches down, and now Kyurem outspeeds and can bop them real quick with some type of maneuver, some other type of move on my move set. So that's kind of cool. I'm not sure what name I'm going to give this thing yet. You'll see it whenever it comes down for the team builders, where I include Kyurem. You'll see whatever the nickname is. I have not thought too far ahead on this one. I really never. I do have the nickname for this thing. I do have a nickname for this thing. This thing's just going to be Gray. Kind of for a couple different reasons. A, Pokemon Gray version should have been a thing. Just saying. That's not how you spell Gray, is it? It is 3:30 in the morning. I'm blanking out. How do I spell Gray? How do you spell Gray? Hold on. Alright, so that's how you spell the... Okay, so it's either way. So it's either way, but I'm using the EY spelling because it's kind of like a dual reference, because it either would have been Pokemon Gray version, that would have been that was a potential thing that could have happened, but never did. Or it could be a reference to Fairy Tail, Gray Full Buster. I already have Full Buster the Regice in the UPL, so I don't want to copy nicknames, so Gray it is for Kyurem. The next mon we dropped, and I know you guys will be very surprised by this because I'm sure he was a fan favorite, because let's be honest, whoever thought he was going to put in work? Simisear. Now, the only reason I dropped Simisear is because Entei was there. If I couldn't find a better fire type, I would have dropped someone else, but just looking at it, I was like, let's see, I got an Entei or I have a Simisear. I think I'm going to stick with the Entei. So Simisear had to go. Just comparing to Entei, there was no comparison. Entei is just so much better. So I needed something else on the team, and I'll be honest, I had intended on dropping Lilligant for a while, and I just figured, since I'm doing them all now, I decided to just do all my swaps at once. I was like, I already know Lilligant's going. I need a grass type. So I'm looking through Tier 5. I'm really looking through Tier 5, and there's so many good grass types available. But one really stood out in my mind, and that ended up being Vileplume. I just really like Vileplume as a Pokemon, honestly. I mean, if you look at it stat-wise, 75, 85, 90, really good defenses overall. Base 80 attack isn't terrible. Base 110 special attack is great. So this thing can take a hit and punch back, which is, again, something I really like to have. So Vileplumes are really, really good. Obviously, it's not fast, but it's not meant to be fast. It gets access to both Chlorophyll and Effect Spore, so it's got really decent abilities. Effect Spore could come in clutch sometimes throughout the season, which would be really, really cool. If Effect Spore could go off in the right moment, it'd be great. I already know this thing's going to be shiny. I already know this thing's going to be known as 1-Up. This is my 1-Up mushroom. Because this thing's giving me this thing's giving our team new life. This thing is helping to give our team new life. This thing gives us back our poison typing that we're losing from getting rid of Nidoqueen, as it's also giving us a grass type to complete a Fire Water Grass core of Manaphy, Entei, and Vileplume, which actually is a pretty lit sounding core, if I do say so myself. I think it's kind of lit. This thing actually gets a lot of decent coverage moves. It gets access to Aromatherapy, which allows it to be a bit of a cleric, which is great. It's got Dazzling Gleam, which is awesome. Energy Ball, Giga Drain, get Grass Knot, of course. It gets Moonblast, which is kind of cool. Moonlight for recovery, which is awesome as hell. Petal Dance, of course, for that heavy damage. Sleep Powder, which is really, really potentially going to come on a moveset sometimes. It's the lesser of Spore, but, we couldn't get a Spore user, so that's okay. And, Sludge Bomb for Poison Stab, options. Overall, this thing just gives us a lot to work with. Vileplume really gives us a lot to do with our squad. I mean, this thing can just put in all types of work. Vileplume's a really, really good Pokemon, and really, really slept on when it comes to the League format. And I think I could make it shine. I think I could definitely make Vileplume shine here in this league. So that's really cool. Plus, it fills up what we need. We do need a bit more of a Clericmon. We don't have any Cleric-ish Pokemon at all, so it's kind of nice to have that. Something with at least Aromatherapy. Even if we don't have a Wish Passer, that's fine. We can work without it, but it'll do something. So I came down to the final two. I had two other Mons selected. I was originally going to drop Tornadus Eye for Staraptor, a Tier 3 free pick for a Tier 2 free pick, and then a Tier 5 free pick for a Tier 4 free pick. I was originally going to drop Lilligant for Hitmonchan. However, I didn't know this for the longest time, but the coach who came before me had franchised Manaphy, which lessened the amount of points that I had available for free picks from 400 to 360, so I could not do that. I couldn't have the standard, Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 4, Tier 5 free picks. I had to go with a Tier 1, a Tier 3, and 2 Tier 5s. So that kind of sucks. Really, really was unfortunate for us, because I really would have loved having Hitmonchan. It would have been another spinner for the team, which would have been really, really nice. So we could have a spinner and a defogger. But that just wasn't happening. So for now, we just have a good old defogging Scizor chilling around. But we got instead when we dropped Lilligant, I still wanted a fighting type, and I wanted a fighting type because we didn't have one. And I was looking through the annals of Tier 5, and I found a hidden gem. We've discussed it with the MPPA, how much of a gem this creature really is. And oh, is he a gem? Oh, is he just a treat? Oh, he's just a treat. That treat is our mascot. Not Piloswine. Our mascot for the channel. Our mascot in life. Primate. you already know it's your boy, Prime Time. He is in the building once again. Yes, we are running him in 2 separate leagues, and this is the one case where I'm okay with it because Primeape is just that damn good. 95 speed, 105 attack. This thing's speedy. This thing hits like a truck. This thing is actually really awesome. Another good thing this thing does, it's got a couple of interesting abilities. Vital Spirit cannot be fallen asleep. Something tries to throw out yawns, nah bitch. Something tries to throw out spores, nah bitch. Something tries to throw out hypnosises, nah bitch. We good. Anger Point, if this Mon gets crit, his attack is raised to the max. His attack raises straight to the max, which is wild. Anger Point is a very rare occasion that I don't ever see it actually working. And I don't see myself bringing it, but it's there. It's an option. Okay, leave it be. But the last ability is my favorite. Defiant. This Pokemon's attack is raised by 2 for each of its stats that is lowered by a foe. This is my counter to Defoggers. Yeah, weird thing to have as a counter to Defoggers, right? Weird thing to have to counter Defoggers in a Mon that is weak to flying. However, this thing can switch into a Defog, get its evasiveness lowered, and have its attack go +2, which is great. If this thing's scarfed with Stone Edge or Rock Slide or something like that, that flying type is now dead. And then, or in other scenarios, you have to find something that switches in to a Choice Scarf +2 Primeape. And what do you honestly switch into that? As we talked about before, this thing gets amazing coverage. Obviously, it gets the close combat, which is one of the main reasons I wanted a fighting type Mon for fighting stab like close combat. We get the Earthquake, we get the Elemental Punches, we got the Fire Punch, we get the Ice Punch, and we get the Thunder Punch. You'll see all of those. We got the Gunk Shot from them Fairies, which is good shit. We got Night Slash for them Psychic types. Get them bitches out of here. Got Overheat or Outrage for dragons. Cool stuff. Overheat for them really physically defensive. Steel types, don't get me wrong. Overheat I'm telling you right now, Overheat Primeape, I'm telling you right now, it will come this season. I will find a way to make it work. I want to do it. I want to have a Primeape fire off an Overheat and blow something back. That will happen. Poison Jab, Power Up Punch, Rock Slide, Seed Bomb. I didn't even know this thing got Seed Bomb. I completely forgot about that. Thunder Punch, Stone Edge, the U-Turn. This provides me another U-Turner. So now we have Manaphy as a U-Turner, Scissor's a U-Turner, Jolteon's a Volt Switcher, and Primeape's a U-Turner. We got a Volt Turn out the ass on this team, which I love. I love Volt Turn. It's a fantastic strategy that puts in a lot of work on a lot of teams and can really, really help us out. So overall, Primeape's a fantastic pick. And look, base 60 special attack. That Overheat is still looking kind of nice, though. Kind of nice. If we have the right scenario, Overheat will make an appearance. I'm telling you right now, it's going to happen. You just never know. But Primeape is here. Prime Time to Primeape is here. And now I was looking at the rest of my team, and I was like, I want to make this 6th swap, but I can't think of who I want to swap. I wanted to swap Tornadus, but I could not think of anything that would swap nicely for it. So I decided against it. Now I'm looking at my team, and I was like, do I have any duplicate typings? Do I? Looking through my team, really don't look like I do. Then I look at someone who honestly has underperformed since day one. And honestly, it's probably my own, it's to my own fault. I just haven't used him properly, or the way he was supposed to be used, but Kecleon has just not done anything since day one. I thought a lot highly about Kecleon. I was like, You know, you got Protean, so you're basically like a less good version of Greninja, but not really. Like, its speed is so minuscule, it doesn't have the opportunity to hit those super effective moves on people at all before they just kind of shit on his life. He can't take a physical hit to save his life. Take special hits out the ass, is no problem. But 9 times out of 10, what's going to be fired at him is going to be a physical hit, because his weakness is to fighting. And granted, yeah, I can run Shadow Sneak and be tricky and yada yada yada, but that just invites knockoffs, which will outspeed us. And then I don't have anything to... And then I can... It's just a matter of having to play the head games and mind games, and it's just silly stuff. Like, it's... Kecleon's more of a silly gimmicky Proteamon, not so much a useful offensive Proteamon. Like Greninja with Protean, the reason why it's banned is because it's just that good. It's so fast, and switching between types like that, not only are things going to get really fucked up, but like Greninja can actually put in the work offensively. Like Greninja has the offensive prowess to do it, speed and offensive ability to take advantage of stab on everything. Kecleon can't do that. Not only is Kecleon not as, open, to things, like it can't be run special. You can't do that. It can only really be run physical. It just doesn't have the coverage. It doesn't have the matchup 9 times out of 10. And it's only because of the fact that it can take special hits that it even ends up coming to any game. And I can't really afford that, so I had to drop Keck. In its place, I'm looking at my team, and I'm like, I really need... Since I just dropped another Stealth Rocker, and I'm looking at my team, and like, I need something else that can set up rocks. I can't just have Regirock be my only rock setter, I need something else that sets rocks. That's goal number 1. Goal number 2, I need a ground type. I want a ground type on my team so that I have ground stab. Ground stab is beautiful. Another thing that I wanted, though, which was really big conflict for me, I wanted a spin blocker. I wanted something that can block those rapid spins so that if I get my rocks or whatever hazards up on the field, they can't spin them away from me. And that's great. However, I was able to find both in one. Ladies and gentlemen, he makes his return from Fella Season 2. We have Golurk. Good old Optimus Prime. What in the hell? Optimus Prime, ladies and gentlemen, Optimus Prime is here and back again to put in the work. I don't know if Optimus Prime will actually fit on DS. OPTIMUS. Yeah, it'll fit perfectly. It actually fits perfectly on 3DS, which is great. So I can fit that nickname on there. This thing actually does a lot for my team. Base 80 defenses across the board with the base 89 HP is going to provide us a decent amount of bulk. Base 55 speed, it's faster than Kecleon, a little bit faster than Kecleon, so it can do a little bit more things. Not as many things, but a little bit more things. More things than Kecleon can do. Sorry, Kecleon, I keep shitting on you, but it's face facts. You just were too slow. Sorry. It's got great abilities in Iron Fist for all of those fist punching moves that he has access to. And then he has access to No Guard, which is really good because he gets a couple inaccurate moves that could actually be very useful in a lot of situations. Looking at his move pool, you got Drain Punch, great. Earthquake, obviously, for stab. Fire Punch, Gyro Ball, if I needed it. Hammer Arm. Heavy Slam is great on this mon because this thing's super heavy. So Heavy Slam could be an option some weeks. We'll see what happens. Ice Punch, Low Kick, Power Up Punch, Rock Slide, Shadow Punch, Stone Edge. This does have Stealth Rock, so it is another rocker for our team. Thunder Punch, Super Power, Zen Headbutt. Golurk gets Fly. Why? Why does Golurk get Fly? I don't understand. Fly and Gravity. Dynamic Punch. No Guard Dynamic Punch. I'm going to confuse everybody. Going to confuse everyone. Phantom Force could come. It's never out of the question. And not only on top of having good coverage moves, this thing actually has the potential to set up with maybe a Rock Polish or something, and potentially Sweep as well, which could be really, really cool scenario some weeks. If I get the right matchup where I can potentially get a Rock Polish off and feel safe about it, I can go for the Rock Polish and automatically have a full-on sweeper on the team. Because look at this base 124 attack. What switches into base 124 attack moves that are now, say boosted with a Life Orb and at +2 speed? So it's outspeeding you. So this thing just kind of comes in and shits down your throat, and what do you do to stop him? You don't. You don't really stop him. He just kind of does what he wants to do, and you let him do it because he's Golurk, and you're not gonna tell him what to do. So, yeah, that's gonna be our new 6 team members. We literally dropped half of our draft and redid it all over again, and that's kind of cool. That's what I like about saving my swaps till the very end. Let people get used to my one team, and a couple of my sets just completely change the game for everyone, and that's my goal. I want to mess people up real bad. I'm probably going to do the same thing in the MPBA, to be honest. I'm probably going to redo my whole draft all over again when it comes near the end of the season. I'm going to redo my whole draft a week or two before playoffs. Ha 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 ha. Screw you guys. Ha ha. Kidding. Probably won't do that. I actually will, but we'll see. But yeah, that is the squad. If you guys are hyped, please make sure to leave a like down below and subscribe if you haven't already. And let me know what you guys think about our swaps in the comment section below. But until next time, guys, I am pokePrimer, signing off.